Alright, setting up and getting this mic in place. And it doesn't want to stick to my shirt. Alright, that feels good. This week we're doing the command pattern. I'm going to make sure Twitch is doing its thing and it'll be good to go.
These little circuits are making our world go. The electric age is
Pause my little videos. Command pattern is up. Nice little example. So the command pattern, according to this definition, encapsulates a request as an object, thereby letting you parameterize clients with different requests, queue or log requests, and support undoable operations. That's one definition. Alright, and then going over to the resident kind of design patterns website, we see the same definition. So this kind of leads to the problem I have with the command pattern and why the title of this week's series is the command pattern sort of. All the examples I've seen either have a code and architecture that's simplified to the point of being unusable and not recognizable by the pattern's definition, or so specialized on implementation that it's also very hard to duplicate or use as like a template for your own code. So, coming back for a second, the typical command pattern will have a receiver, a command, and an invoker. I'm going to borrow some of that terminology, but I'm also going to do an example that has my interpretation of the command pattern. So let's look at the kata. So my kata, as usual, is create a Git repo or burn the old one away. Create a simple UI. Those are my first two steps every time. Then decide on an example, or usually it's going to be an abstraction. In this case, it'll just be a very kind of generic-y kind of basic idea. And for this, I'm going to create the command types. So the things that you can do. So if we did a database kind of app, it would be create, update, delete, maybe retrieve or get. Then we're going to need to create a container that's going to receive these commands and process them. So I'm also going to create a request object and a response object. So the idea being that you give the invoker the request and you'll always expect back a response. That's typically how I see commands operating. User makes a request, gets a response back. Our challenge is going to be to create a generic enough request and response that we don't have to care what we're passing along. We can just rest assured that what we're going to get back is going to be something that we can process and display to the user the same way every time. Then we're going to create a command abstraction. So we need to create a contract or an expectation for any class that implements the iCommand interface so that we can pass it to our invoker very easily. And then our concrete command, which would be an example. So let's go ahead and create a Git repo. It's called command pattern kata. A small variation on the classic command pattern. Make it public as usual. Initialize with a README and create. Alright, so now we've got our GitHub link. We'll come in here and we've got our game up right now. Let's close that out. Open up a fresh instance of Visual Studio Community Edition. I'm trying to add this to the beginning instead of doing it behind the scenes because I think it's also a great part of the kata to get used to getting that good muscle memory of where these items are. So we're going to open from source control and we've got to go, this is the weird part, we have to connect first and then go to new, or clone in our case. So we're going to clone. We're going to paste in our GitHub address. Hit clone. There's really nothing there, so all it's really downloading is the .git files to identify it as a repository. And now that we have that, go ahead and double click on it. And you'll see that we're in the Team Explorer view now, and there are no solutions, so we're going to go ahead and create one. I'll just call this command pattern. Oh. Let's just respond to chat real fast. Myron Key. Hey there. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope so. Let me put this up a little bit. Okay. And man, I'm gonna butcher this as well. Taherty? Hope I got that right. You know, my full name is Arinze Chuku, so I have a special kind of guilt when I mispronounce anyone else's name. All right, so we're gonna make a console application called command pattern kata. We'll just leave it like that. Typically, I'll do something like CLI or web or dot something. These are just katas, so not going to bother with it. So console application, type C#, command pattern kata, OK. All right, so if we switch back over to the Solution Explorer, we'll see that we've got a program set up for us, and we're very happy about that. And we're going to go ahead and check that in. And for our commit message, we're just going to say initial commit. Alright, so we've committed to GitHub, and so we come back, we see we've got our files there. So for our kata, one down, oops, let me add a list, done. And create a simple UI. It seems trivial, but to make sure your environment's set up correctly, to make sure you've got that last known good state, that your IntelliSense is working, just a sanity check. It's always good to know the thing that's out, just fresh out of the oven, fresh out of the box, that it works as you'd expect. Console.read key. So we're just going to output to the console, hello world, and then we're going to wait for an input. Super simple, it works, nothing funky is happening. You will be surprised. You'll go to create a new virtual machine or something, and nothing will work the way it's supposed to. So this is a good sanity check. So we know if anything goes wrong after this, it is our fault. We'll go ahead and commit this. Alright, so we've created a simple UI. Decide on an example. So I do like the idea of the CRUD, the database example. Maybe not necessarily database, but some sort of persistence layer where you want to either create, update, destroy, things like that. I think it's a pretty accessible example for everybody, so we'll do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and create the command types. And RobSoft UK says he likes the check of VS is good. Yeah, man, I've been burned by many development environments. And if you guys are out there in Java, or really just the open source community where you're building your own tool chain, you have it worse. You have it worse than us over here in the easy.NET land, because configuring Eclipse can take a bit of patience. Alright, so let's go ahead and add a new file. Oops, we can call this command types. So make this an enum. And we're just going to say create, update, delete, retrieve. So, if anybody out there wants to know where the CRUD comes from, it's right there. Create, retrieve, update, and delete. The four basic operations you'll have for any persistent strategy. Yeah. And RoboSoft says that Delphi and Xamarin can have their crazy moments too. Yeah, and I'll hop on the soapbox for a second. .NET typically have been convention over configuration. So there's always been a lot of configuration behind the scenes, but it's always handled that stuff for you historically. So you can really just get started, you can ignore all that, and just start cranking out code. Moving forward with Visual Studio 2015 and a lot of the release management stuff, it's getting a bit more configuration and convention. The stuff that used to be really deeply under the covers is kind of getting closer to the surface. So it's definitely going to be good to broaden your perspective. And if you're used to Visual Studio making everything easy and not having to be concerned with the metal, so to speak, that's changing. So, alright. So I got my command types and create command types. Cool. I'll go ahead and commit this. We'd like to save it, and I'll sync it. Alright, so now I need to create an invoker. This goes by different names. I think that if you're looking at the stuff out there that says command design pattern, you'll see invoker used. And some of the new stuff like React.js and the Flux architecture from Facebook, you'll see dispatcher used quite